Well, good evening, folks. How y'all doing out there in what is this internet land? My
Yeah.
name is Myron Randall. I'm the pastor of spiritual development here at the Faith Community, and I'm here with my dearest friend, my brother indeed, the pastor, the lead pastor, and founder of the Faith Community,
Wow.
Kristian Smith. How you doing, sir?
My friend Myron Randall, I'm excited to be here. I want to say hello to Deborah. Thank you for joining in. Make sure when you come in, you say hello to us. We'd like to know who we're working with today, who's joining us, and please do share this post.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're talking about gratitude.
Oh
Hey,
yes,
I know how you doing. It's good to see you.
yeah.
Thinking about what we are thankful for. You know, Thanksgiving is next week, which is kind of this Americanized holiday, but I like the idea of Thanksgiving, that we have this moment that we pause and we reflect and we give thanks. I like that. Now, we can talk about all the history and all that foolishness. We ain't going to get into that in this broadcast.
Mm-mm,
Or maybe
mm-mm.
one day we can.
I ain't got
But
time for
we're going
that.
to talk about gratitude. We're going to talk about Thanksgiving, the spiritual discipline of gratitude, the spiritual discipline of giving thanks. So, Smith, I'm going to toss it to you to start us off. Tell us about gratitude. Tell us about saying thank you.
First of all, I want to do something. What's your favorite gratitude songs? I heard you got a whole playlist.
Listen, I'm very passionate about this subject, actually. Okay? There's so many of them, and they rotate. I like you said, I've got a full gratitude playlist. I got to figure out how to share my Spotify gratitude playlist with the people.
Right.
I got lots of them, right? So on my way here, on my way home, I was listening to this gratitude playlist because I knew we were doing this. And so I'm gonna go with the last song I heard, which
Okay.
every day is a day of Thanksgiving. God's been so good to me. So every day he keeps on blessing me. That's it. Every day is
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
We sang that one in the gospel choir at Alabama A&M University.
I love it. Shout out to A&M.
Yeah, when we did our tours during the spring, we would sing that song. My man Joseph Anthony used to blaze it every time. Mine is tragedies
Oh
are
yeah.
commonplace. Yeah, that's
Oh,
my jam.
diseases. Yes,
Yes,
Walter Hawkins.
yes, absolutely.
Lord, for all you done for me.
That's it. That's it. So that's my favorite. So let me tell you a story about how gratitude works and how it can be a blessing and how it can hinder you if you don't practice it. So I grew up in Oakland, California, son of a preacher. My mom is on here. She spoke just a minute ago on YouTube actually. So shout out to mom over on YouTube. And I was always super excited about Christmas. Just like I couldn't sleep the night before Christmas. I distinctly remember one Christmas, I went to bed mad early. I went to bed at like 9 o'clock. And I was thinking, man, I'm asleep and I'm gonna get up in the morning. This is gonna be Christmas. I woke up thinking it's Christmas morning. It was 11:30 p.m. Like that's how excited I would be about Christmas. So there was one Christmas in particular where my sister and we got up excited. We went in the living room, presents everywhere. And it was like so exciting. So in my excitement, I was just running through the Christmas presents. I would open it up, toss the box to the side, open another one, toss the box to the side. I don't even remember what all I got. Just open it up, toss the box to the side. My sister and I were both doing the same thing. We went through all of these Christmas presents in no time. And then we looked up at my mom and said, that's it.
Oh no.
And mom looked like, hmm, okay. Now, I wasn't aware enough to know that our response affected her like that because I was caught up in how excited I was. And I didn't realize that in my excitement, I forgot to show gratitude. And I just thought my excitement was enough. But then I responded, oh, that's it. So fast forward to me as an adult. And my mom recounts that story for me and says, y'all remember that Christmas? I was like, I'm kind of sort of vaguely. She said, did you notice that every Christmas after that, you got no more than 3 to 4 presents? And I thought about it like, dang, You know what? You're right. Christmas was a little bit light every year after that. And the reality of it is because I wasn't grateful for what I had in the present, it caused me to miss out on my future gifts and my future blessings to the extent that I didn't even know what I was missing out on after that. I was so ungrateful in the moment that I missed out on future stuff that I wasn't even aware of. And my mom had to bring it back to my remembrance, which is why it's so important to be grateful for what you have, because you'll miss out on stuff you don't even know about in the future. And I strongly believe I used to want one of those little those mini cars that you could drive. They were like electric. You know what I'm talking about?
I had one of those. Yes, indeed.
I used to always want one, and my parents never got it for me. Never. They got me the turbo wheel. You know, the one you sat down and you was up like this and you was like.
Well, you had to pedal it yourself.
Exactly. I always wanted one where I didn't have to pedal it myself, and they never got it for me. And I think it's because I was ungrateful, but my lesson is learned.
Wow, that's good, man. Tiger says this all the time. Tiger Gibson, our dear friend, he says gratitude is the final requirement for more.
Yes.
That when you say thank you, you set yourself up for something a little extra, for something a little bit more. There's a Bible story that kind of illustrates what you just talked about. I think it's Luke 17. It's the story of the lepers, the 9 lepers that come to Jesus and they ask Jesus to heal them. And Jesus says to them, go show yourselves to the priest and you'll be healed.
Right.
And they leave Jesus, and as they are walking, they are healed. So I said I wasn't going to go aside, but I got to put a pin right there.
Oh, I know you.
I have to, right? Because there's such a bullet point. I got to say that sometimes we need to know that healing happens in ordinary time. That healing happens sometimes we're walking. Some of us expect these supernatural miracles to happen right then and there. Sometimes you just got to put one step in front of the other and keep on moving, and your healing is going to happen as you keep on walking. So I don't know who that's for. Just keep on walking, and you'll ultimately see the healing that you're waiting for, because healing happens in real time. So they walk to the priest, and when they get there, they're healed. And one leper realizes that he has been healed, goes back to Jesus and says, thank you. And Jesus goes, well, weren't there 9 that asked for this gift? And Jesus says, and the guy's like, yeah, I guess. And Jesus says, well, son, you've been made whole. And the language shift is important there, because the 8 were healed, but this guy was made whole, which speaks to this idea of restoration, that everything in his life was put back together because he realized that he needed to say thank you, that he had gratitude for what Jesus had done for him. And sometimes that's what you need. You've just got to stop and say thank you, and your life will start to come back together as you amplify your gratitude.
Absolutely. You just got to go back and say thank you. Like everything would have changed that Christmas had we got done opening all those presents and said, Mom, Dad, thank you so much. This was amazing. That thank you would have changed my entire life. It would have changed my entire life. One thank you.
You never know.
One thank you would have changed my entire life. So what about you, man? What do you have?
You know what I think about gratitude? I think, and this is like a personal life lesson for me, that gratitude, your mom says, it would have helped. It would have helped. See, you still got gifts in your mind that you could have got. But I'm not gonna lay it on thick for you. All right.
I would have got that electric mini car. I promise you.
The power wheels, that's what it's called. You would have got some power wheels.
Yeah, exactly. See, I'm getting flashbacks. Please go ahead.
All right. True story. So when I worked in DC, and this was a personal life lesson, I worked in DC. The company that I worked for gave out contracts. That's how you got hired. You got a contract, you worked your contract, and then usually before your contract ended, you would get another contract. So you'd be set up, and then you just keep working contract to contract. Let me get the principle first, and then I'll finish telling the story. That gratitude forces trust in God's ability to control, and God's ability to help and deliver and do all of the things, right? So usually get a contract. Well, one time my contract was delayed. I didn't get a contract. I finished working. Everybody else got a contract. I didn't get a contract. And so now I don't know what to do. I mean, this was the job that paid the bills for the apartment. This was the job that put gas in the car. What do? I don't have a contract. So I did a little temp work, right, at a temp agency. I did a little work here and there. Still didn't have a contract. We're going on a month now. Rent is getting ready to be due. Like, what do we do without this contract? But I kept feeling the Holy Spirit say, be grateful where you are and for what you have. So every morning I would get up and I'd do my little gratitude. Lord, I thank you for today. I thank you for this apartment that I've got. I thank you for this car that I drive. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'd go through the list. And I have no job, so I spent significant time. Just every time something hit my head or hit my heart, I said, thank you for it. And then I got this phone call from this woman who ended up becoming my manager, becoming my boss. And she's like, hey, Myron, I want to let you know that we have been working on this new role in the company, and we think you'd be a great fit for it. And so I interviewed for this job. I get this job, and it wasn't a contract. It was a full-time position. Contracts, you don't get health care. We didn't have no space in the office when you were on a contract. But with this role, I got a desk. I got health care. I got a salary. And check this out. The role was so cool that it was a traveling role. So that year, I went to 57 cities in 52 weeks because I had gotten a job, a real job. I was all across the country, riding on planes, trains, and automobiles because gratitude opened that door for me. In the words of Tiger Gibson, I hate to be repetitive there, but gratitude is the final requirement for more.
Mm-hmm. You know what? That just reminded me, I was homeless one time.
Uh-oh. Tell me more.
I was homeless one time. So when I was in seminary, this was like, I don't know, maybe 6 years ago. I was in seminary, just starting my business, so I wasn't making any significant money. It was me and Pamela. She had a job. She was wrongfully terminated from her job right around the time one of my uncles passed away. And it was just really bad. So now we're kind of living off of student loans, and it's not going well. So we had to make the difficult decision to give up our apartment because we just couldn't afford it.
Wow.
And when I tell you it was tough, like we had to make some tough decisions. And I think of all the things that we had to give up during that time period, the toughest thing that we had to give up, at least for Pamela, was the cable. You wouldn't believe it now because we haven't had cable for years. No DirecTV, no Comcast. But when I tell you, I told Pamela, look, we got to give it up because we can't afford it. And it's not a necessity. I heard a lot from her around that time period.
That cable.
Like, how dare you take my cable from me? And it was a rough time. So we actually had to come to grips with the reality that we got to give up some stuff. But although we didn't have our own home, we were homeless, but we were grateful that we had family that would take us in. So once we accepted what God had given us and we were able to release the stuff that we could no longer hold on to, we gave up the apartment and decided to move in with my mom. The week we were getting ready to move, Pamela got a new job. After looking for a new job for months and couldn't get anything, the week that we were moving, Pamela got a new job. And I said, there's no doubt in my mind that it was our willingness to let go of the things that we couldn't control and be grateful for what we have, that God then said, all right, now I'm gonna give you what you need. Because you were willing to let go of the stuff that you didn't need. Now I'm gonna give you something. And it just was such a blessing. And I'm grateful that we went through that because it shaped a lot for us. It showed us to be it helped us be appreciative of things that we hadn't appreciated before. Probably we took cable for granted. Now we don't even have cable and don't care.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love that gratitude shapes our appreciation for gain. Right. I was saying to somebody else the other day that gratitude kind of sits right in between the nexus of loss and gain. right? Our human proclivity is to have an aversion to loss. But every time you gain, ultimately you end up losing. And gratitude shifts our focus from what we have lost into a place where we appreciate what we have gained. I think that's
Yes,
so
sir.
good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Pamela said that sounds so shallow. Cable was how she decompressed then. Now she decompresses by watching Netflix and Hulu and whatever else that she watches. She says so much stuff started happening in our favor when we made that move, and that is so true. It's so good to see the Kingmaker with us today.
Hey, Ross,
Absolutely,
how you doing,
absolutely.
Doc?
Yeah. And then Geneva Gray, my co-spouse.
Hey,
er,
how are you? It's good to see you.
Yeah, so I want to close out with this because Thanksgiving is coming up. Of course, that's the reason why we're doing this theme today. And many of us are experiencing a great level of sadness and grief because we're not going to be able to share the Thanksgiving that we would normally be able to share. Many of us have made the difficult decision not to go be with family. I know Pamela and I made that decision, and that means a lot to us. People ask me frequently, do I think I'll always be in Atlanta? And I don't have any plans to go anywhere. I love Atlanta. The headquarters for TFC is here. And that's not to say that TFC is only in Atlanta. We're all over the country. I'm so grateful for the members of our church who are spread out throughout the country. Ariana, who's with us right now today, she's on our ministry team. She lives in Michigan. We got
Yep.
people in New York. We have people in Alabama, Tennessee, all over the place.
I'll go everywhere.
Everywhere. And I'm grateful for everybody that's a part of this ministry. But Atlanta's where I live and I enjoy it here. But one of the main reasons I wouldn't want to leave Atlanta is because my family is here. My nieces and my nephew and my mom and my siblings are all here. So to not be able to be around them for Thanksgiving this year has a major impact on me. And many of us are going to experience sadness next week because we can't be with our families. So I want to encourage each of us who are in that moment to be grateful for what we do have. Not because you won't be sad if you're grateful, but if you take on an attitude of gratitude, that will overshadow the sadness that you feel. You will still be sad. You still gonna miss being with the family, but if you can just thank God for what you do have, you may not be with your family, but you still have some food.
Sure enough.
You may not be able to get around and laugh with everybody, but you still have a place where you can be and be safe in the midst of this pandemic. Because I guarantee you, I can think of about 250,000 people in the United States alone who would trade places with each and every one of us next week because they're not here, because Corona got them.
Yeah.
And to the people who said, forget this, I'm going to be with my family. I hope you'll be safe and mask up and socially distance. Or if when y'all eat, if it's warm enough, go outside because transmission is lower outside.
Yeah.
But for those people who said, forget it, I'm done with the pandemic, I don't think that's the question that we need to consider. I think the question that all of us need to consider is the pandemic done with you?
Yeah. Good point, man.
And I'm gonna leave it with that. You got anything else, Randall?
No, we're gonna shut it down right there.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell people, please be safe, make wise decisions. And while it hurts not to be with family, be grateful that you have a family, and do what's necessary to protect them, to keep them safe, so that you can be with them next year for Thanksgiving. So,
That's it. That's it.
wait, I
So
got one more thing though. One more thing.
I knew it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Last thing. Who made that jacket you got on, man? That's sharp. That's nice.
Oh, well,
Man.
listen, I didn't plan on wearing this.
That is very nice.
But I got on screen and saw what you had on.
Well,
And
mine is made by P Squared. I don't know who made yours. This is a P Squared vest.
this is P squared. But let me say what I gotta say. Let me say what I have to say. Because Randall, you do this all the time. I'm the lead pastor of the Faith Community and I'm a clothier, yet you always outdress me, and I don't like that. You have a takeover spirit.
No, that's not what it is at all.
No, you got a takeover spirit.
I'm not trying to take over. I'm happy being not the lead pastor. Okay. I'm gonna let you be the tip of the spear, Doc. You go first, right? You lead us out to war. I was stand right behind you and cheer you on.
But you got to stop with all these fancy suits and looking good all the time, because people see me and you and they always assume that you the pastor because you always look better than me. So that's why I put my jacket on today.
You gotta tell that to my tailor. You gotta tell that to the guy who owns P Squared that makes these clothes. It ain't my fault that he makes them that well.
Hey, look at that. His mom taught him well. I see you, Mama
There
Randall.
you go, mother.
That's it. That's it. So listen, if you are looking for announcements, when this is over, go back to the beginning of the video, and that countdown that we play, it has the announcements for the week. So go ahead and check that out. Definitely join us on Saturday. We're going through the Breaking All the Rules series. And this week is we're covering chapter 5, Who is My Neighbor? So if you want to join us, listen to me closely. Everybody, listen, look at me right here. Look at me in the eye. We will not be on social media this Saturday. If you want to join us this Saturday, we're going to be exclusively on Zoom. Don't look for us here. Don't come to Facebook at 4 o'clock or YouTube at 4 o'clock saying, where are they? We're going to be exclusively on Zoom. If you want to participate in that, text disruptive to 31996. It's scrolling down the bottom right now, and we'll send you the link to join us on Zoom on Saturday. Also, please do give. The ministry will go as far as we give. It's as simple as that. The ministry will go as far as we give. We got a number of great things going on, and we want you to be a part of it, and we ask you to contribute to it. So you can go on Givelify, search the Faith Community. CashApp is hashtag TFCATL, and you can go to our website and give. We're asking you, please support the work that we're doing. It's important work. It's novel work. I don't know of anybody else who's doing this work quite like we are, and that's just my observation. I'm not saying we're the best, but I don't know anybody that's doing it like us. So please support that. We appreciate you. Myron, we did it in less than 30 minutes, man.
I'm proud of us there. Now, I was tempted, but we did it. We did it, John.
Yeah, you took that detour in the middle of that story. I was like, okay, okay.
I was watching the clock.
All right, y'all. Y'all have a great evening. Enjoy your weekend and your Thanksgiving. And remember, text disrupted to 31996. We'll see you.
Peace.